Okay, and let me just share the screen real quick. One moment. And then let's jump in to today's exciting topic. Okay, please confirm if you guys can see my screen. If you guys can, just type a 1 on my chat. Okay, then we're ready to go. You can hear my voice and see my screen. Type 1, please. Okay. All right, perfect. Okay, guys. So before we get started, real quick, I do just want to confirm. Okay, here at PTips, we are providing a third-party professional. Ugh, 1 second. Ugh, 1 moment. Okay, let's restart that. Let me just share the screen again. Okay, perfect. So here at PTips, we're basically utilizing third-party professional technical analysis to share with all of you guys here. Okay, we're not providing any signals here. What we're trying to do is provide a secondary look into the market, and hopefully this can help with your own analysis. Okay, now every single day, free PTips is provided on PT Fintech social media. So if you haven't done so, go and follow us there so you can have access to all of the latest PTips whenever available. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. Let's start off with silver. Okay, so silver. So PTips, we're always utilizing D1, lowering it down to H4 and then H1. Okay, for the time frames. So we can have a good look into what the market holds for us. Okay, already. So for XAG USD, which is silver, let's quickly take a look, see what's going on. So RSI, it claims it's below 50. Okay, and then the bands, it's currently trading between the lower bands. This type of setup is more of a bearish move for the market. Okay, so for silver, from what we see, seems to be more bearish. The notes on PTips, okay, says that it's bearish momentum. Okay. All right. So you see the prices are trading in between the lower bands, so that is more bearish, and the RSI is below 50, so it is also a good combination for bearish trend right now. Okay, now let's drop it to H4, see what type of information we will see. So for silver, H4, PTips claims that RSI is below 50. Yes, it is. It actually is going up from oversold. Okay, now the bands, price within 1.0 deviation. Okay, and the note is that it's bearish. Okay, I can see that it's bearish as long as the prices are below the MA20, which is the middle line here on the Bollinger Bands, which is the MA20. Okay, now as long as prices are below it, it will still consider the market as more bearish momentum. Okay, so from what we're seeing via this type of combination is that it's bearish, but we have to be very careful about a few things. You see this channel? It could be a bullish channel or a slight bullish channel for now. So what's happening is that the prices, the top are getting higher, the lows are getting higher as well. Okay, so if anything, I would say trade in between the 1.0 deviation band. Now, for even a better look into the market, trade in between the bullish channel. Utilize the top as your take profit for your buy orders. And obviously, the overall direction seems bearish right now. So might as well, if you're jumping in on a sell, make sure you exit when the prices reach the lower bands, or should I say the lower channel trend line. Okay, so be very careful. Overall, D1 and H4 seems bearish. Okay, so then H1, let's see what H1 has for us. Ooh, H1 has a bit of a different information. Okay, so on PTips, it's saying that RSI is above 50. It's literally at 50 at this moment. Okay, so when it's at 50, we're expecting that the market is ranging. It's not going to be super prominent in terms of a trend. Okay, now the bands, prices between top bands. Okay, so the prices are between the top bands. No, not anymore. It's actually within the 1.0 deviation bands, which now is more of a confirmation that it will be a ranging market for now, which is in line with RSI being at 50. Okay. But of course, from what you can see here is that we're on a bullish channel. Okay. So when you see that we're in a bullish channel, that basically means that potentially the market's long-term direction is that it's going to go upwards. As long as the prices are still above the MA20, then that is a confirmation of more bullishness in the market as well. Okay. All right. Cool. So let's move on. Next instrument to check out, Euro USD. Okay, so for Euro USD on D1, what do we see? RSI is right now above 50. Well, it's at 50. Okay, so same thing as we know, when it's at 50, it basically means that the market is ranging. Okay, and then the bands, price within 1.0 deviation bands. It's not above MA20 anymore. It's actually below MA20. So potentially it could mean in a short time frame that it will be more bearish right now. Okay, PTips claim it's overall bullish, but it's ranging in a bullish market. From what I see is if prices will break below the MA20, it will tend to try to reach a little bit lower. There'll be more sellers that are available. Okay, so that's something that we have to be wary about. Okay. All right. So let's see. Oh, it's quite interesting though. Ranging, but then in reality, the highs are getting higher, the lows are getting higher. So technically on V1, if we zoom out, we're seeing more of a bullish channel. Okay. So technically speaking, the overall direction seems to be more bullish channel. Okay. So let's keep the support resistances from the channel in check. Okay. Just to see when the prices will actually break above or below. Now let's take a look at H4. H4, PTips claims that RSI is at 50. It's actually now below 50. Look at that. You just had one whole candle that just went all the way down south. Okay, and then the bands, price within 1.0 deviation band. Yes, it's currently still in between the 1.0 deviation band. It's broken below. It's now between the lower bands. So technically that's more bearish. Okay, so from what you're seeing is this. That's a strong resistance. Okay, and this is support. So I think to be able to justify if bear is going to prevail is if the prices will break below this support line, 1.0836. If it will actually break below this, then most likely more people are going to jump on into sells. Okay, but more people will start shorting. Okay, but in reality, if the prices are just going to start bouncing back up from here, then we're confirmed. We're stuck in a ranging market. It's best to trade in between the 1.0 deviation bands. Okay, let's take a look at H1. See what type of information we have. Okay, H1 seems very bearish for me right now. Okay, so RSI is below 50. It's reaching down to 30. From what I'm seeing is that the markets, you see the prices are way on the extremes. It's below the 2.0 deviation lower band. You know what's going to happen is that the prices are going to come back up and it has to trade in between the lower bands. Usually prices are never really going to stick around on the extremes. Okay, so a pullback is to happen. But overall, from what we're seeing is that it's more bearish. Yeah, it's more bearish because in reality, look at that. You do have a bullish channel that literally two candles have broken down below. So we could probably jump on to expect that it's more ranging, and we're currently on a bear, but it's ranging right now. The market should be ranging. Okay. Alrighty. Great. So before we go on to gold, I do just want to remind everybody about one thing, okay? Um, P-tips. You actually could get free P-tips for our London session every single day on the PT Fintech social media. So if you have not followed us, do that right now. It will be helpful for all of us. And also, if you want to get the full complete P-tips of not just Euro USD, gold, and silver, you can actually get the complete set of P-tips sent to your email as long as you are a trader on PT Fintech. So you can contact your account manager for more details on how to get that. Okay, great. So then let's jump on to gold. Let's see what gold has to offer for us now for this week. Okay, so on D1, the time frame for D1, RSI is at 50. Now the band, price within 1.0 deviation bands. Okay, so price is literally between the 1.0 deviation bands. It's below MA20. We do see that overall the candles are becoming lower. Okay, but overall in the large direction, the trend still seems more bullish. Okay, let me just get rid of that. Okay, great. So overall, you see the lows are getting higher. So technically, it's still on a bull run. Okay. So now bands, price within 1.0 deviation. If it's between the 1.0 deviation, I would recommend that we just jump on and do the 1.0 deviation bands trading. Meaning, if the trend is bullish, we can actually jump on and trade with the trend, which is then we go buy and then exit when the prices touch our top band of the 1.0 deviation bands. Okay. Okay, H4, what type of information do we see here? RSI is at 50. Okay, the bands, price within 1.0 deviation bands. And then it's currently above MA20. So overall, it should be more bullish, okay, but it's really mixed right now. You see, the tops are becoming lower and lower. Based on H4, we're seeing a very prominent bear channel. Okay, we see a very prominent bear channel right now. I would say trade along the channel, right? But of course, be very careful, okay? If the prices are going to be below MA20, then I think it will be a better confirmation of yourselves, okay? Because right now we don't know if it's going to break above the trend line, okay? So you have to be very careful that the prices are going to break above the trend line, top trend line, then more bullish momentum will start to happen. Okay, let's take a look at H1. Okay, RSI for H1 is above 50 right now. Okay, RSI is above 50, and then the bands, the price within 1.0 deviation bands. Okay, so overall, this seems to be more of a bullish setup. Okay, you see prices above MA20. Okay, and RSI is now still above 50. This is more of a bullish setup. So with this bullish setup, be very careful. We're still within a bear channel on a bull setup. Okay, so it's ranging bull. I would say if it's this type of setup, what you want to do is trade within the 1.0 deviation bands. So for example, bear channel, I do short, and I will actually exit when my prices reach the lower band of the 1.0 deviation. Okay, now if today the prices reach the top, I better exit. Okay, I better exit my short order and see if it's going to break above and change into a new trend. Okay, so be very, very careful when trading. What I'm seeing right now is that what everyone should do, trade within the 1.0 deviation bands for now, just because we are stuck in a ranging market. Okay, all right, well, that's pretty much it for today's P-tips analysis for us to take a look at it together. Okay, so I want to thank everyone for your time. And remember, on Wednesday, the exact same time, okay, during the London session, is when we're going to be live again with more P-tips analysis. all of you. Now, if you don't have enough of these PTips for today, it's okay. Join our social media channels. Okay, follow us, like us, and you can take a look at all of the PTips that are available for you to use. Okay, thank you all for your time, and see you on Wednesday.